I have my daughter with me that I recently acquired when I married her mama. And she has expressed, she didn't know I was going to do this, but she has expressed that she wants to use my name. She feels that like I'm her father, she wants to use my name. I had given her the name Najma, and she wants, but I was using the other name Najma Brooks, and she said, I want to be Najma Mohammed. So I think that's kind of good. However, I would encourage you, don't surround it and, oh, you do not, just make your shahada. We make shahada when we are truly witnesses. All right? Shahada means to witness. So don't encourage someone to witness that which they have not yet witnessed. Right. That's very, you're telling them to bear false witness. So anyway, I'm sure the sisters who are here can hear me out there. And her name is Najma, and her last name is Mohammed. So exemplify good Muslim adab, and you know that the greatest conversion of Muslims in history was in, come on, somebody help me with it, not Malaysia, Indonesia, where when the Muslims went there and they didn't say make shahada, they just treated the people so well and business so well until now they have a limit as to how many people they can bring from Indonesia to Hajj. They have a limit on them because they take up the whole everything. And so that's the best way. Just be the example. And not, you got to say that shadu and no, that's not the way it's done. All right. Now, I want to do something today that I hope will fertilize our field, as one of my young brothers just reminded me. So that I guess he saw I was getting impatient. He was relating to me a story about somebody. Sometimes people be teaching you and they don't know that they're teaching you directly. So he was relating another story, see, but he didn't realize I was getting impatient too, see. So he's explaining about how one of his associates was getting impatient because he had given the instruction one time and the people didn't respond the way they were supposed to. And so he related to him the farmer who plants the seed. And he showed the young man how crazy he would be if he planted a seed and then sitting there watching for it to grow and looking for the yield all at the same time. So we are not, we're not immune to that. We have to be reminded. And so I'm happy that he related that to me because I guess I was beginning to feel a little impatient about maybe these seeds I'm planting ain't no good or something, But praise be to Allah. So our discussion today will be based on a statement that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad made, and I gave it back to him, and he was pleased with it when I gave it back to him. And that is, he had a statement, if you got notes from right then, he said, the slave would never be free until he learns the language of his master. And although I didn't know a word of Arabic at that time, but I was pretty good with the English language, and I know that we were speaking English and we could write pretty good letters and so forth. Really, what did he mean? Because we speak English, and Allah blessed me. First of all, to have the occasion to give that back to him as an answer to a question that he asked me personally, and he was satisfied with it. And then Allah blessed me to really understand it after that. Then we were I'm making this short here because I thought this could be a presentation in itself. And then the teachers were meeting at his house. That's after he moved into the new house. And he was inquiring of all the teachers, asking them about different things. And when he got to me, he asked me, I was introduced as the language arts teacher. He said, Brother Teacher Granville, that was my name then. He said, what is the most important subject in school? And I said, the apostle. That's what we called him, Don't think that I'm still thinking that, but that's what we called him back then. I said, the apostle. As you have taught us so well, that the slave would never be free until he learns the language of his master. Therefore, I would say language is the most important subject. He said, next. And every other teacher that was there, he asked them question after question that chased them to show me that was a weak answer. What do you mean? Like one sister was at the other, just made one sister was asked, she was a social studies teacher, and he asked her, who is the original man? And she, well, when I think of the original man, I think of a black African, and all she had to do was what? Say, the original man of the Asiatic black man. I mean, that's the point I wanted to make. So he didn't chase me, and I'm thankful for that, but I'm also thankful that Allah blessed me to understand better then what he meant by being free until he learns the language of his master. Language, dear brothers and sisters, is more than the words coming out of your mouth, or the words you write on paper, or the words you read on the paper, or even the words that you hear. The language is the non-physical people. It is the people. It is the people who speak the language. If you haven't noticed this, particularly I've noticed it with Hispanic people, because you see a lot of them. And if you started trying to speak that language, they like you. If you see one say, you say, "Que paso?" He'll embrace you and try to teach you some more. Because I don't think he understands what I'm about to say here, but in his soul, he knows if you want to know my language, you want to know me. Your language, the language of the people, is the people. That's the real people. And so while we were sitting there just a few minutes ago, we referred back to an ayat in the Quran, the 2nd chapter, the 26th verse, where it says that Allah disdains not, that's how they translate it, disdains not the use of examples in everything from highest to lowest. What is the word is matalan, which is similar to mithlukum. It comes from the same root word as mithlukum, when the Prophet ﷺ said, or was told to say, and beshrum mithlukum, I am a man like you, mithlukum, kum, you, mithlum. Okay, so matala is the word that is used in this ayah, 2nd chapter, the 26th verse, and we can discuss that in more detail at another time. But matala is the likeness, and the human being likeness is his language. If you don't understand the human being's language, you don't know him. You just don't know him. Okay. Now, so what we did in our class this morning, and you didn't know we had a class this morning? Yes, we have a class every Sunday morning. And it don't cost you anything but a telephone call. So you should have the number for Lifeline, which is 605-477-2100. 605-477-2100. And the access code is 708-435. And if it doesn't let you in the first time, just hang up and dial it all over again. Because sometimes for the code inside, it will say, or you put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or something like that. Then know that the system is just off a little bit, and just go back to that. Especially if you dial in late. If you get in early, in the early hours, you don't usually I haven't had any problem early. But when I come in late, that's when the code starts acting up and they don't accept my code.
Scientists probably.
So I'm saying that to you because this is an inexpensive way for us to upgrade our study of Arabiya Fusha. Arabiya Fusha. That is the Arabic in its highest form. Fusha is classical, its highest form. And so if we want to get to know our Prophet Mohammed ﷺ, if we want to get to know our leader Imam Mohammed, as he often said to us, and I think that most of the time we thought he was just talking about, being able to recite back his words. He would say what? I want you to get to know my language. When you get to know the language, you know the person. And again, I repeat, the language is more than just words coming out of the mouth or words on the paper. Language is representing what is really in the person. We gave a demonstration of that we used to use back when I was teaching at the University of Islam. And I thought about it. We mentioned it on the program this morning, but I thought about it later. When did you get that inspiration? And Allah blessed me to remember when I got it. I knew that NAPVAPSI, the word NAPVAPSI, I had gotten that from high school. An acronym for the 8 parts of speech. See one of my NAPVAPSI students sitting over here right now. All right? It was an acronym for the 8 parts of speech. I'm going to make this part quick. Noun, adjective, pronoun. Verb, adverb, preposition, conjunction, and interjection. That was the 3-syllable word, NAPVAPSI. Noun, adjective, pronoun, verbs, adverbs, preposition, conjunction, and interjection. 3-syllable word, NAPVAPSI, and therefore you can remember the 8 parts of speech right away. I run into students on the street now who haven't seen me in years, and they don't remember my name because my name changed from the time when they were my students or something, whatever the reason is, they don't remember, but they remember NAPVAPSI. I know you NAPVAPSI. That's right. I see 2 of them sitting up. I thought it was one. I see 2 of them sitting. 2 of them NAPVAPSI students sitting up here. All right. So what I want to show you with a brief review of this, not taking a whole lot of time, but a brief review to show you that in the 8 parts of speech is a system known to English students as a way to analyze the English language as to how the words are used in a sentence, and therefore classify every word based on how it's used in a sentence. A word doesn't fit into the classification until you actually use it in a sentence. All right. So you can't just say, well, that word is a noun. It's only a noun if all it's doing is naming something. So what we did with that, what Allah blessed me to do with that, and I'm going to tell you when this happened now, before I go into it. Because after the session this morning, I said, when did you come up with that? And I remember exactly when it was. Now, it was when Imam Mohammed first came into office. And I noticed that he would make examples of things. In the Quran, sometimes they translate the word as similitude. No, Imam Muhammad, what do you call it? He called it similitude. I believe he pronounced it similitude. I pronounce it similitude, but he pronounced it similitude. If you remember, he used that word similitude. All right. Allah says in this verse I just mentioned that He does not hesitate to make a similitude for everything, from a neck, from the highest to lowest. And your language is a similitude, or maybe you are a similitude of your language, whichever you enter. But the language is a similitude of the people who speak the language. So what we did was show, Allah blessed me to see this, because I was following the Imam's teaching, and I noticed that every time he spoke, he was making examples of things. You remember when he talked about the self, and one brother jumped up and wrote a book on the community of self, all right? Because he was showing how the self has in it the different parts that a regular community, what you call a community, would have, all right? So I was doing that when he was saying that, while he was on the roster. When I get back to the classroom, I was presenting my material in that same manner, all right? And Allah blessed us to see that 3-syllable word, NAPVAPSI, the first syllable represents the upper class people. And the second syllable represents the middle class people. And the 3rd syllable represents the lower class people. First, I'll describe those families to you, and then I'm going to explain to you how Allah went back and showed me why. I didn't sit down and say, I would need upper class. No, Allah just gave it to me, just like I'm giving it to you. All right. So the NAP family, that's the nouns, adjectives, and pronouns. Nouns name everything. Everything that has a name, that name is a noun. I mean, he's the boss. The noun is the boss. He named everything. If it's there, isn't that what Allah told Adam to do? Told him, tell them their names. Tell them their names. The angels couldn't do it. We don't. All we know is what you tell us, Allah. You know what you teach us. He said, Adam, tell them their names. Now that word names in Arabic is ism, or single, and I can't think of the plural right now. Got a little block if somebody got it. But anyway, Ism is the single. Asma is the plural. All right. It comes from the same word that you read in the Quran. It says samawati. Well, all right. The heavens and the earth. Samawati. The word for name comes from that same word. So how does name, ism, asman, the plural, how does that relate to samawati? The skies are high above us, right? The word ism for name lifts you out of the group. But I say I have two students here who were with me back when when Allah blessed us with this. Still, you don't know who they are. They know who they are. But if I say something about one of them, he doesn't know whether the one don't know what I'm talking about him.